I think it's really hidden in the past, and it's hard to bring out why I'm this way and why life for me sucked, you know.
If people have negative attitudes towards them and make them feel that they're worthless and unable to succeed, then that's the thing that will most hinder their recovery.
I don't think, you know, like, you can openly talk about mental illness as you talk about maybe someone with cancer and all that kind of stuff, or diabetes, and you know, it's still a little hush-hush if you want to say, you know.
Trust them again. I think you have to try to trust them again and give them responsibility and make them feel like they're productive human beings instead of, you know, someone to be scared about.
I was born in New Jersey, but I grew up in New York City. I went to Sarah Lawrence College, and then I got a master's degree in theater arts from NYU. I'm a painter, and I also do theater and music. My father is a lawyer, and my mother doesn't work. When we were growing up, there was never a lot of communication in my family. None of us was ever very close to each other.
I'm a veteran of the Second World War, so I've been around a long, long time. And unfortunately, in the old days, there weren't any real entitlements. I'm a product of a very interesting case history. Suicide by mother as a child, and sort of a baby born with many problems, but never addressed until much later in life.
I was born in Trinidad in 1954. I left Trinidad when I was 16 years old. I came to New York 1971. I lost the job because I was taking a lot of days off. I would be absent very often, and they said, well, you couldn't keep me. So after, when I lost that job, I stayed on for like maybe 2 or 3 months, and you know, I was, you know, walking the streets and just being kind of spaced out in a sense, not knowing what I wanted for myself or what I was doing, you know. At times I would feel depressed, at times I would have ups and, you know, it was like ups and downs, you know. At times I would be paranoid, you know, like paranoia would come in. Well, eventually, I became sick that I had to be hospitalized.
Well, I had delusions of grandeur was the main thing. It's you started thinking that you're some kind of divine. You're some kind of divine. You're having some kind of revelation of certain kind, and it's like verses in the Bible and certain songs make a lot of sense to you, and you think you're just extremely intelligent, and certain shows and television shows are, you know, speaking to you, and you're just like picking everything up, and you're just like, you feel divine, you feel almost like sitting at the right hand of God, you know, and everyone else is really stupid.
The problem I used to have was that ever since I was a child, I felt very isolated from other people, and I felt very alone most of the time, and I felt as if nobody really understood me. And one thing that made the problem worse was that there was very little communication or closeness in my family. So I felt most of the time as if I was completely apart from everyone else, that there was no one I was really close to. And I had problems in school. because it was hard for me to get along with the other kids. I felt as if I was so different from them. That was, I think, the worst part about growing up with my condition, the feeling of being so alone.
Severe anxiety attacks, voices. My mother visiting me, she was dead for 40 years or so. But, oh, she's tucking me in the bed. Then one day, when she asked me to join her, you know, I guess I became terrified, you know. Paranoia, a feeling people are insects, they deserve to be destroyed. Cars were tiny things that you could step on, walk right out into the traffic. Hatred, a feeling that you were left here by a spaceship, that you're not part of this human family. You have to be an alien. Family didn't like you, you know. You were unwanted, and you're made to feel guilty for the death of your mother because you were a late child. And this might have caused problems with emotionally or mentally, you know, with her.
At times I may hear my mother's voice saying, well, tell me to do something, you know. I hear other people's voices that I know, you know, like my father, or maybe a friend of the family, or my stepfather, you know. It could be confusing, and and troublesome. Sometimes, you know, like you hear the voices, you know, it puts you in a different frame of mind. You start worrying about these. Am I sick? Or am I getting sick? You know.
You might feel like Beethoven's spirit is possessing you. For example, if you're playing the piano and you're working on some of his works, and you feel like maybe you feel like the spirit is possessing you, and you feel like suddenly you feel like you might be Beethoven's reincarnation. The only way I can tell you is if you don't eat for a long time and you don't sleep for a long time, you'll start to feel totally different. Now that I can't, or it's basically like being on a drug. If you're on a drug of certain kind, you will feel totally different. You may feel like you are somebody else. I can't really, that's certainly not, it's something that comes over you very slowly.